Well, hi everybody. Welcome to, let me get down there, week 4. Here we are, everybody, week 4. Oh my goodness. We are heading into the middle of October. This calendar is just racing past. Good heavens. I had no idea time could go this fast, but it is doing that. I want to go through what the expectations are for this week, maybe piggybacking a little bit on last week. You know that you have last week you were given the kind of a self-paced logical fallacies core concepts so that you could be prepared to take the core concepts test, and many of you have done so. Please don't forget about it. It's, even though you won't be seeing it in this week, it is still on the calendar and it is due by October 15th. So it's a 20 question test. I'll remind you again that there's a study guide. This is all in week 3. So you might go back before you start week 4 and kind of double check on what's left for you in week 3 that you may not have completed. Remember that I have these longer due dates so that it gives you more time, but that doesn't mean that you put off everything until that time. That just means for an asynchronous course, kind of one of the most valuable aspects is that you can work it around your other courses, but you still need to work it. So don't forget about it. All right, so launching into this week, you're going to have a quiz from chapter 4 in They Say, I Say, and that's a regular quiz. And then I want to show you that you've got some sample graded responses using the Foodways articles. This is from last quarter actually, and I've not only shown you the I've redacted the names so for privacy, but this is an A summary, an A minus summary response, a B, a C, a D. Don't forget to glance at this rubric, which you will be using the same rubric. So you can kind of see on your own, take your own time and decide how did these students earn A's? What did they do in here? Notice that the summary, page 1, which is the academic summary, is worth 50% of this whole assignment. So it's essential that you write a really solid academic summary, and then you're going to create your summary of a summary, which will be your catalyst into your response. So I know it seems kind of like, whoa, 50% is going on that one academic summary. Yes, because it's such an important skill set. You're going to see it coming up over and over, the skill set of summarizing. All right, hopefully let's see if it'll let me go back. Yay, it did. Okay, so I'm sorry. I hate when I have to zip up and down. It makes me dizzy as well. So those were those sample graded responses using the Foodways articles from spring quarter. Your summary response is due the 18th. While that isn't this week, it's next week. You do not need to wait until the due date to turn it in. In fact, I kind of go by this: first turned in, first graded. All right. So, that's one of the benefits of getting it turned. Well, 2 benefits. You get it over with and it's not clogging your schedule. And 2, as soon as I start getting papers in, I start grading them. So if you want to get your paper back sooner, then submit it sooner. That's kind of the way it works. This is an important document or page that I want you to read. What to expect from PKs from my grading strategies. All right, so I explain in detail how I handle the grading, and your questions, or if you have questions about how something was graded, please read this first, as it kind of lets you know what the protocol is in what can you expect when I grade your work. There's a homework quiz. It's a quiz, but I'm calling it a homework. And it's in chapter 8. They Say, I Say, as a result, connecting the parts. As you know, with the They Say, I Say textbook, nothing in it is rocket science. It's written strategically with you in mind. The authors have really focused on their audience, which is you. And I think you're finding now that this is a really sensible textbook, and it's really helpful for this kind of writing. Later in the week, we're going to launch into, after you will have submitted your summary response upload, your next graded paper is going to be a definition paper. So really I start slowly. What is a definition? Kind of like, what does it look like in the real world when we have to define something? And I post a real world kind of situation in which I think the concept of consent is wrestled with. I mean, how do we know what a sexual assault is or rape if we don't know what the definition of consent is? So that's a real short little, you can see 5 minutes, 28 seconds. Then I kind of give you a real visual definition at a glance. Then I explain it. What actually is a definition paper? Then I show you what are the objectives of our assignment. And I give you a thorough explanation and a screencast in which I go over the objectives of the assignment. Please watch the screencasts that accompany these assignments. I think they're really helpful in getting some explanations, especially since you don't have me in a physical classroom to ask me questions or for me to remember to do that. Here are some sample student topics. The official, kind of, if you want to know what are the official definition paper instructions, here's a brainstorming technique called cubing that students use frequently, not only in this class, but it's beneficial for other classes that you take as well. Articles that you can use for the definition paper, articles to use as a catalyst for the definition paper, frequently asked questions. This is really important. We have a discussion in here, how to start getting your topic. How are you going to know what you're going to write about for your definition essay? And so I find that the most effective way, especially in an online class, is to have you guys discuss your potential topics before you ever commit to them. You can get valuable feedback from your peers. Likewise, you might see somebody else's really good topic that they listed and you're like, wow, I want to do that one instead of one of the 3 I wrote down. That's totally fine. Even if I assigned everyone the same topic, it would be all different papers because you're all different people with different perspectives. So part of the method behind the madness for this discussion, when I have you discuss your topic, your prep for a topic, is for you to get ideas from other people and for you to write down ideas that might inspire other people as well. Don't forget that I mentioned at the beginning of the written part of the weekly launch to look at these resources, how to use a comma and how to use a semicolon. These are really short and cute little videos, but they're effective. If you've got an issue with commas or maybe you use too many of them, maybe you're just not sure how to use them. And maybe you could be using semicolons or more advanced forms of punctuation and you're just not confident. Well, this will help refresh you on it. What's the difference between active and passive voice? Remember, arguments are written in active voice. We never want to hide the action. Arguments are active by their very nature. A list of previous topics that students have used in the definition paper, real student definition paper, a list of sample definition papers. I give you a ton of samples. Those are always optional for you. As you can see, when it's available, I will have the wrap up for week 4. So you've got, this looks like a really, really heavy week, but a lot of it is materials for you to look at instead of complete. So I don't want you to get overwhelmed by seeing all these, what is it? What is it? What are the objectives? What does the paper look like? What are some sample topics? So a lot of these are helpful documents or not necessarily assignments. I think it's completely doable what you've got going on this week, especially if you balanced your time effectively last week. If you put off some of last week's content, then you will definitely be feeling under pressure this week. So just keep on moving ahead. You guys are doing awesome. I am loving reading all your responses. The way that you're responding to your peers is just impressive. That one of the reasons I like teaching this course online. I feel like the discussions are far more effective and mature and I don't know, clearer in these in this online class than they ever were in person in class discussions. I don't know why that is, but the discussions that come through this asynchronous course are just mind-blowing for me as an instructor. They far surpass any discussions that that occur in the kind of limited and unique setting of an in-class setting. All right, that's about it. As usual, if you have questions or concerns, or if something's not showing up, or if I've messed up on a due date like I did last week, please email me right away. I try and stay up with checking my email frequently, and keep you guys in the loop so that you never feel lost. Again, don't forget about my office hours. You are always welcome to attend. If you want to make an appointment and meet me in my office, that's a great idea, although you can just drop in as well. All right, everybody, good luck on week 4. Keep the faith. You got this. Talk to you soon.